Imagine a world shrouded in eternal darkness, where the pressure is so immense it would crush a submarine, and the temperatures swing from near freezing to scorching hot. This isn't a distant alien planet. This is Earth's deep sea, and it is home to some of the most bizarre and fascinating creatures you'll ever meet: deep-sea worms. Now, when you hear the word worm, you might picture the little guys in your garden. But forget everything you think you know. We're about to dive into a realm where worms are the masters of survival, the architects of their own ecosystems, and some of the most stunningly beautiful animals on the planet. Let's start our journey at hydrothermal vents, often called black smokers. These are underwater geysers on the seafloor, spewing out superheated, mineral-rich water. It's a toxic, hostile environment, yet it's teeming with life. And the undisputed kings of these vents are the giant tube worms, or Riftia pachyptilla. These incredible creatures can grow up to 8 feet long. They look like giant lipstick red plumes sticking out of white chitinous tubes. The strangest part? They have no mouth, no stomach, and no gut. So how do they eat? They've formed an extraordinary partnership with bacteria living inside their bodies. The worm's bright red plume acts like a gill, absorbing chemicals from the vent fluid, like hydrogen sulfide, which is poisonous to us. It then delivers these chemicals to the bacteria. In return, the bacteria perform a process called chemosynthesis, converting the chemicals into organic matter, which feeds the worm from the inside out. It's an entire ecosystem contained within one animal. They build vast communities, creating a foundation for other vent creatures like crabs and shrimp to live on. They are true ecosystem engineers, building life where it seems impossible. Moving away from the scorching vents, let's drift down to the abyssal plain. Here, the seafloor is a vast, cold, muddy desert. But even in this seemingly barren landscape, life finds a way. This is the home of the zombie worms, officially known as ozidacs. These worms are bone eaters. When a large animal like a whale dies and its skeleton sinks to the seafloor, it's called a whale fall. This massive deposit of organic matter becomes an oasis of life, and the ozidacs worms are the first responders. The female worms are the ones we see. They look like tiny, feathery plants, boring into the whale bones. They secrete acid to dissolve the bone, then absorb the nutrients. But here's where it gets really weird. The males are microscopic and live inside the female's body, dozens of them. Their only job is to produce sperm to fertilize her eggs. The female then releases her larvae into the water, and they drift away, searching for another bony meal to colonize. They are nature's ultimate recyclers, ensuring nothing goes to waste in the deep. Now, let's add a splash of color and light to this dark world. Meet the Christmas tree worms, Spirobranchus giganteus. While they technically live in shallower, sunlit tropical waters, their cousins in the deep share their mesmerizing beauty. Imagine a tiny, perfectly formed Christmas tree, or 2 of them, sprouting from a coral. Their spiraled feathery plumes come in a dazzling array of colors: blue, yellow, orange, white. These plumes are not just for show. They are complex breathing and feeding structures. Each tiny filament or radiole is covered in cilia that beat rhythmically, creating a water current. This current draws in microscopic plankton, which get trapped in mucus and transported down a groove to the worm's hidden mouth at the base. They're also incredibly sensitive. The slightest shadow or change in pressure will cause them to retract into their tube in the blink of an eye. It's a fantastic defense mechanism against predators. Their beauty is a reminder that even in the most functional designs of nature, there's room for breathtaking artistry. But not all deep-sea worms are stationary. Some are active hunters, and they are the stuff of nightmares in sci-fi movies. Enter the scale worms, a group of polychaetes that look like they are covered in armor plates. These elytra, or scales, can be iridescent, creating a shimmering light show as they move. Some species are even bioluminescent. When threatened, they can flash brilliantly, or even shed their glowing scales to distract a predator, much like a lizard dropping its tail. One particularly fearsome example is the bobbit worm Eunice aphroditois. Though often found in shallower waters, its relatives inhabit the deep. This ambush predator buries its long body, which can reach up to 10 feet in the seafloor sediment, leaving only its powerful iridescent jaws exposed. It waits patiently, using its antennae to sense passing prey. When a fish or crustacean gets too close, It strikes with incredible speed and force, sometimes slicing its victim in half. It's a terrifyingly efficient hunter, a true dragon of the deep-sea underworld. Perhaps one of the most otherworldly groups of worms are the spaghetti worms, from the family Terebellidae. As their name suggests, they look like a tangled mess of pale, noodle-like tentacles spreading out from a central burrow. These tentacles can stretch out several feet in all directions across the seafloor. They're not for hunting, they're for gathering. The surface of each tentacle is sticky and covered in cilia. They slowly sweep across the mud, picking up tiny particles of marine snow, the organic detritus that constantly rains down from the upper ocean. The cilia then transport this food along the tentacle back to the worm's hidden mouth. It's a slow, patient, and highly effective way to make a living in a food-scarce environment. Watching a time-lapse of a spaghetti worm feeding is like seeing a living net being cast across the ocean floor, methodically cleaning up every last morsel. The diversity is just mind-boggling. There are Pompeii worms that live right on the sides of black smokers, enduring temperature gradients that would tear other animals apart. There are acorn worms that leave intricate spiral patterns on the seafloor as they process sediment. There are bioluminescent swimming worms that create dazzling light displays, earning them names like the Green Bomber for their ability to release glowing bombs to startle predators. Each of these creatures has evolved unique and ingenious solutions to thrive in one of the most extreme environments on our planet. They challenge our definitions of life and demonstrate the incredible power of adaptation. Studying these animals isn't easy. It requires deep-sea submersibles and remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, that can withstand the crushing pressure. Scientists use robotic arms to carefully collect samples and high-definition cameras to observe these worms in their natural habitat. Every dive brings new discoveries, sometimes even entirely new species that have never been seen before. These worms are not just curiosities. They're vital to the health of the deep-sea ecosystem. They recycle nutrients, create habitats, and form the base of complex food webs. They are also a treasure trove of potential scientific breakthroughs. The bacteria inside giant tube worms could hold secrets to new metabolic pathways, and the venoms of predator worms could lead to new medicines. So the next time you think of a worm, I hope you'll picture something more than just garden bait. Picture the majestic giant tube worm swaying in the heat of a hydrothermal vent. Picture the spooky Ozidax giving new life to old bones. Picture the dazzling Christmas tree worm, a jewel of the abyss. The deep sea is Earth's final frontier, and these incredible worms are some of its most remarkable inhabitants. They show us that life is resilient, creative, and can flourish in the most unexpected and seemingly impossible places. It's a hidden world of wonder, and we've only just begun to scratch the surface. Thanks for diving deep with us today. If you enjoyed this journey into the abyss, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you next time.